Gamers! Welcome in! It's me again, Kylerbite, and I'm bringing you one of my favourite builds I've ever made. It's an Argonian hybrid Warden. This build is close to unkillable and has great burst damage for that turn and burn when you're being chased. It works great in both Cyrodiil and Battlegrounds, and boy have I missed playing Warden. If you want the quick version, then check out my 1-minute build video where I quickly go over the sets and skills in under a minute. I'll leave a link to that in the description. But if you want the full version, then stay right here and I'll show you what I've come up with. Okay, so here we go. Let's get into the stat sheet first. Quickly buff up. We got 23k magicka, 40k health almost, 20k stamina, 5.5k weapon damage, 12k penetration, and resistances go up to about 30k, and then 3.3k crit resist, which is huge thanks to our sets. Resistances do go even higher thanks to our sets as well. We got 56 points into health and a few into stamina. You can play around with these. I like the higher health pool because you get more healing thanks to a skill we're using. And you may notice recoveries are a bit lower, but that is why we are using Argonian. So we're using Argonian because it gives you extra healing, max health, disease and poison resistance, and then this one, Resourceful, is an amazing passive. You get magicka and stamina, and when you drink a potion, you restore health, magicka and stamina. So we're literally just using pots to sustain, and so we're combining that with tri potions, so you get 3000 health, magicka and stamina plus 9000 health, 7000 magicka and 7000 stamina. So that's 10k stats over just for using a pot. The food we're using is Bewitched Sugar Skulls for the extra stats, and you get health recovery. Not that helpful in PvP, but it's there. And we are using the Warrior Munderstone for extra damage. Moving on to the sets. Okay, we've got quite a lot going on here. I tried to explain it the best I can. The first set we're using is Trial by Fire. I don't see this set often. Adds health, armor, healing taken, and while under the effect of an elemental status effect, you gain 8500 armor. So I tried to check. I thought about using Pariah here, which gives you 10,000 armor, but that's based on your missing health. So you don't start getting 10,000 armor until you're almost dead. So I feel like I get more benefit out of this because it's just straight 8,500 armor, because you almost always have a status effect on you in PvP. They're everywhere. So I have this on 5 body pieces: the chest, belt, feet, legs and hands. Heavy on the chest, medium on the rest. Paired with that, we have willpower on the necklace and the front bar, two-handed. We've gone for a sharpened maul. Willpower adds magicka and then weapon and spell damage. And then on the back bar, we're using Rallying Cry, which adds crit chance, magicka crit chance, and then while you're in PvP, basically, with the Battle Spirit passive, you gain weapon and spell damage and crit resist for 20 seconds when you critically heal yourself. So it's great for solo. It gets less effective when you're in groups, but this set, it's just too good not to have. It only comes in light though, so we've got it on the helmet, shoulders, one ring, and then the back bar, sword and shield. And then we are running the mythic Marking Ring of Majesty, which adds weapon and spell damage and armor when you're wearing at least 3 or more pieces of armor sets, up to 3 times. So on the front bar, we do get the full benefit because we're running 5 pieces of trials, we're running 3 piece willpower, and we still have 3 piece of Rallying Cry, even though we can only proc the Rallying Cry on the back bar. So we get 2 lots of damage and armor on the back bar, but it's most effective on the front bar. We still get higher resistances on the back bar thanks to the passives from Winter's Embrace, because we have a couple of Winter's Embrace skills on. But yeah, so because we get a huge amount of crit resist and damage from Rallying Cry, that means I'm running very few impen, and then I've been able to move those impens and use divines instead, which increases the damage we get from our weapon damage Wonderstone. So I'm running one reinforced on the helmet. I'm currently running 2 impen and 4 divines. So I have impen on the chest and legs, and divines on all the little pieces. Divines increase the effect of the Wonderstone, so we get a lot of weapon damage from the Wonderstone warrior that we're using. And also, because Trial by Fire gives me a lot of resistances, and Rallying Cry gives me a lot of crit resist, we become super tanky, so we don't need to run that much heavy, so we can run a lot of medium. That gives me more damage, and we have 2 pieces of light as well. So yeah, we have 1 heavy, 4 medium on the little pieces, and then the 2 light thanks to the Rallying Cry. In terms of enchantments, you can kind of play around with these. I've got a couple of max health on. I've got a couple of magicka. Because we're using a lot of stamina and magicka skills in this build, we kind of wanted an even amount of magicka and stamina, just so we don't run out of any resources. So I got 2 max health, max magicka on 3 pieces, and then 2 stamina as well. But you can play around with it, see what works best for you. I have a magicka drain enchant on the back bar, and I do have an impen shield. Probably be better to have sturdy here, and of course sharpened front bar so we can get more penetration. So with all of these sets combined, because we've usually always got a status effect under, we're always critically healing ourselves on the back bar. We usually always have close to 6k weapon damage, close to 40k resistances, and over 3k impen. So we become super tanky and super strong. It's just, this build it's so good. It's so good at 1vxing. So let's move on to the skills. On the front bar, our main spammable damage is good old Dizzy Swing. I love the 2-handed skill line, it's my favorite. Slam an enemy with an upward swing, dealing 9,000 physical damage and setting them off balance. Hitting them if they're already off balance stuns them, and if they're immune to off balance they get snared. This is a great spammable, kinda sucks when it's lagging a bit, but you know, if it's working, it's working. So that's really good to have. And then we pair that with Screaming Cliff Racer. That does damage by sending a Cliff Racer to dive bomb the enemy. The good thing about this, if you're 7 meters away, you set them off balance. So you can either use this at distance as you're running in, set them off balance, hit them with a Dizzy Swing, it will stun them, and then slam them with an ultimate. Plus, another benefit is after dealing damage, you increase your weapon and spell damage for 10 seconds, or that quadruples after damaging off-balance enemies. So what I do like to do is I hit them with a Dizzy Swing, set them off balance, throw a Cliff Racer at them to give myself 400 weapon and spell damage, and then hit them with like a medium weave to stun them, and then Dawnbreaker. That's an incredible combo that knocks out most people. With that, we have Deep Fissure. We've gone for this morph because it does major and minor breach, so it hits the enemy with 9k damage after 3 seconds, and then after 6 seconds, which is a very long time. It's kind of awful. I hate having to wait 6 seconds for that second one to go off, but it does hit them harder. The main reason we are using this though is the major and minor breach, which reduces their physical and spell resistance by about 10k. So we have 12k penetration already, and then reducing their armor by another 10k, it means you end up hitting very hard. Executioner is our execution. Does up to 400% more damage to enemies. Pretty nice to have. And then we're running Bird of Prey, which gives us minor berserk while slotted, and it's our snare removal and our movement speed. The ultimate we've gone for is Dawnbreaker of Smiting. Like I said, if you can pair all this up together, then hit them with the Dawnbreaker, huge amount of burst potential, and we get more damage by slotting it as well. Okay, on the back bar, Ice Fortress must have, gives you minor protection and increases your resistances, and gives you more resistances thanks to the Winter's Embrace passive. Polar Wind, this is why there are so many Wardens now. It got a buff Envelop yourself and an ally in Winter Winds, instantly healing for almost 14k health unbuffed, and additional 3k every 2 seconds. It's just a huge heal. It keeps you alive no matter what, and also if it's paired with minor toughness, which increases your max health by 10% as well. Sometimes I get over 40k health and it's healing like a truck. It's incredible. Resolving Vigor is a nice heal over time as well, so we can use that if we've got excess magicka to heal us, or a panic heal, and then we can use this to heal us over time. And a nice buff to this as well, which also gives you more resistances, which is why we can get close to 40k. I've got Lingering Flare on, mainly just for the major protection. You could put on Shimmering Shield as well, which absorbs projectiles. I'll get it out in a second. And gives you major heroism. The problem I had is it's quite expensive paired with this, which is expensive, and Polar Wind. So I was running out of magicka a bit. So I decided to go with this instead. But if you have okay magicka sustain, then you could probably swap this out. And Blue Betty, which increases our weapon and spell damage and gives us magicka back. And then if you're close to dying, stick the healing trees on your feet and then you'll stay alive forever. Incredible ultimate, lets you defy death. So in terms of recovery, we do have the Blue Betty giving us magicka back. We can heavy attack with our maul or our one-handed shield to give our stamina back. And then we use potions, the tripods with the Argonian passive. But one thing I didn't talk about is I do have an infused magicka recovery on the necklace, and infused stamina recovery on the ring, and then a weapon damage on the Marken ring as well. So it's a little bit of recovery. We're still below 1k on both of them, but I found I don't have any sustain issues whatsoever. Okay, so let's talk about the champion points. The usual green ones: Rationer, Liquid Efficiency, and once again get Break Full to reduce your full damage. Focus Mending we're going for in the blue tree, increasing your healing done. That increases your Resolving Vigor, your Polar Winds, makes you unkillable. Exploiter is a must-have on this build because we have 2 skills that set opponents off balance, so we do more damage to off-balance enemies. Untamed Aggression, increasing your weapon and spell damage by 150. I just thought I was a little bit down on damage, so that's good to have. And then Ironclad reduces your damage taken by direct damage by 6%. In the red tree, more health, bigger Polar Wind proc, become unkillable. It's great to have. Celerity is a little bit of increased movement speed. We don't have a gap closer or anything like that, so that comes in real handy. Pain's Refuge, reducing your damage taken by 2% for every 2 negative effects on you. It's pretty much a must-have in PvP. And Sustained by Suffering for a little bit of an increased recovery. So there you go, that's the build. It's you get super high stats, you become super tanky, your Rallying Cry will proc all the time. See, there you go, already proc there. And you can just hit like a truck. 5.5k damage, 3k resistances. See, these are 30k resistances before Trial by Fire has even procced and given us an extra 8,500. And pair that with 40k health and huge heals. It's an incredible build, it's awesome, and who doesn't love Argonians? And that's it for the build. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed playing. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to comment if you have any questions or improvements on this build. Plus it all helps the engagement and therefore gets my content seen by more people, so I super appreciate it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for the support as always. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.